Today on Weenie Envy, Master of Etherium. Master of Etherium is one of those cards that doesn't by itself do very much, but it actually helps. You can build a deck around it very easily. It's a 3 casting cost creature with power and toughness equal to the number of artifacts you control. And it happens to be an artifact creature. It also happens to be a blue creature. For 2 and 1 blue, you get a 1/1 by itself, but it also gets +1/+1 to other artifacts, artifact creatures you control, and it itself gets a +1/+1 for each other artifact you control as well. So it's easy to build an artifact deck around, possibly even a mono blue artifact deck around. And that's why it's today's Weenie Envy. It's a Vidalcan wizard, and we seem to see that kind of creature a lot in Mirrodin block, although the Vidalcan aren't solely in Mirrodin. Apparently they're also around in Alara block, which I believe this is from, Etherium. And it's an interesting combo card. Like I said, you could play Ornithopters and Memnites and Phyrexian Walkers with this deck. They would get +1/+1, and it would get +1/+1 for each of those artifact creatures. Also, you could play things like Liquid Metal Coating, which would could turn any permanent into an artifact, including Planeswalkers. And as long as it was a permanent you controlled, not only would Master of Etherium get +1/+1 for the Liquid Metal Coating, it would also get another +1/+1 for the other artifact that the Liquid Metal Coating created. You could target your lands. You could play any number of things. If you had anything that also boosted your artifacts, like perhaps made them cost less to cast, or cost less to activate, or any number of things that relied on having an artifact in play, this would be the deck to play. Perhaps things like Darksteel Citadel and Seed of the Synod. With this, would immediately make it into it would immediately give it +1/+1 with both Seed of the Synod and Darksteel Citadel. This would be a 3/3 creature for 3 mana, and that's not terribly difficult to have that happen. In fact, there are a lot of decent 1 casting cost artifacts that would be worthwhile to play in this type of a deck. You could even play things like Springleaf Drum, because it counts as an artifact, and you would be able to tap your other creatures to get mana out of them. It would automatically pump him up, and it just, in general, that's a cohesiveness, a synergy that really helps make something work very, very well. And that's what any type of deck works better with, that kind of synergy. If a deck doesn't defeat itself, it's more likely that it's going to win. Whereas if you play an opponent's deck where their deck clearly wants to hurt itself, or things can go wrong more easily for them, then just statistically you're going to have an easier time playing against that player. So, as we've learned, Master of Etherium works with a very specific type of deck. You need to play things like artifacts. So if you're going to play many artifacts, you might as well play 1 color and then splash in the artifacts, so to speak. And it's a wizard, and it's part of our wizard tribal deck that we'll be building. So, Master of Etherium. A decent creature, decent power and toughness, decent abilities, and it just works very well. It synergizes with a very specific deck type that is decent to play. So, I hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, or good evening, and hope your tomorrow is even better. Take care, everybody.